Today we introduce you a new spinning reel, Daiwa 23 Arity, the lightest spinning reel in Daiwa's history. This new 23 Arity information was revealed with big shock, as information tells you this reel is almost the same as 22 Exist, the flagship spinning reel of Daiwa. Now let's look closer together, if that really is right or reel bag is there and the handle is inside. Unlike 22 Exist, the handle arm is with hole to be lightened up further. And here it comes. This is the body of 23 Arity. Overall cosmetic, looks like dark grey metallic, more chic and calm design like this. And the air drive rotor looks cool. Of course the screw-in handle looks very cool. When 22 Exist came to the market, I thought that looked more like Shimano 18 Stella. But this 23 Arity is really like Daiwa-like design, which to be honest, I like this better. And the air drive bail is pretty similar to 22 Exist, more Shimano-like. Opened bail angle is slightly narrower than Shimano's, but wider than previous air rotor. Drag knob is easy to hold. And this is the drag sound. Slightly lower, smaller than 22 Exist. Let's do the first crank. I see. Okay, I should be honest. Actually, I feel 23 Arity is slightly lighter than 22 Exist. It is really interesting, as 23 Arity is almost 22 Exist. The only differences are the main shaft ball bearing under the spool is replaced by collar, line roller does not have mag-sealed ball bearing, and flagship owner support. However, slightly but definitely, this 23 Arity is lighter. Of course, 22 Exist has better quality of parts clearances. I can fee it nice and fit well though. Let's compare the first impression with 22 Exist. As you look, Exist is mirrored color, really shiny. And this is the drag sound of Exist. And the spool has skirt part at the bottom to prevent line coming inside. Comparing to that, Arity is slightly calmed colour, with slightly matte colour and point of gold colour. This is the bail sound of Exist. Exist bail is a bit stiff and spring seems a bit stronger when open and close. And this is Arity's bail sound. Although they are not different much, but slightly less holding power I can feel. Next, Exist's drag sound. This sound is a little higher pitch and a little bigger that you can even hear at rough wave sounds. And this is the drag sound of Exist. Oppositely, a little lower pitch and smaller. Let's compare the feeling of spinning. My Exist has a bit of reeling noise, but light as I've already used through the year already. Next, Arity. This is still new, so the grease can be left inside much. So slightly. But clearly, this is lighter. Okay, maybe enough. Now, let's use this outside. Firstly, let's try for edging method, which can be a major fishing type for Arity. The rod is Shimano Cephia BBS Edelwem. This rod weight is only 99 dri, assuming it's a good match up with 23 Arity. The lure is Yamashita EGI O-Live Chiratsky mackerel. The first cast. Yeah, so nice, light and smooth enough. As I said, the rod is really light, but this Arity can create a nice balance with this rod. This is the same for Exist, but the weight point shifted towards the rod butts by air drive design helps a lot for this nice balance, so the cast and jerking action is really easy. Like this, when jerking, the total tackle weight is really light, therefore you can control the strength, the speed, and the length from bottom to up. Now, the line got onto the spool. I know this is because I jerked and winded with too much rod action, therefore the line tension was a bit too loose. Well, let's see how it affects to the next cast. Yeah, no problem as you see. As we have introduced our experience with 23 Vanquish, the line was backlashed at the cast when the line became loose and crossed over. But surely, this 23 Arity is not. I don't mean that 23 Arity is better than 23 Vanquish only from this point, but at least this could mean Arity is a bit easier to use than Vanquish, especially for the method that can make a lot of line slugs. Next, let's try to use the light plug lures. The lure is Valley Hill Bevy Popper GP, 4.7 G of weight. This is one of great working top water lure. Good feeling, the lure goes nice and smooth. This is from 22 Exist, but air drive rotor is absolutely lighter than old AIR rotor. It starts spinning real quick, then stops real quick. With this dog walk action, shifted center of gravity towards hand and the light winding feel make lure control much easier. Moreover, I feel that the strain on the wrist is also more alleviated. Obviously, the weight is super light against any other reels. Therefore, you will need to think about the weight balance of matching rods, but if you like the spec, then this reel is really nice. The lure is really light one, but this would help you a lot. Even this popping action can be made easy and smooth. The lure game fishing is such tough game that you need to keep casting, keep winding, jerking, tweaking, etc, etc. And this reel absolutely helps reducing the burden. And like these, any cast can be made real easy. Okay, next, let's switch to a lure with more resistance. The next lure is Valley Hill Air Deep 67S, 7 grams, the lipped diver minnow. This is really nice working lure, makes strong wave diving into 1 to 1.5 meter deep. Let's see how the reel works on such lure with high resistance. Absolutely, I can feel the extra power of air drive shaft, monocoque body, plus large diameter tough digigear. Of course, I can feel the strong vibration, but is also really easy to retrieve. And this jerking with lipped minnow, also really easy to do from the same reason I have already described previously. Jerking the rod is easier as of the balance. Stop and go reeling is smooth, and you can do both action whenever you want. Of course, this won't be as strong as saltwater heavy-duty reels, but I can feel enough strength, especially for light game fishing. Next day, I had some hits from yak fishing. Although those fish sizes aren't big, I was impressed how smooth the reeling is. You can see I just reeled without pumping action, and the reel retrieved very smooth. I could only film 1 flathead and 1 queenfish, but I caught 3 more breams with this reel and felt the smoothness of retrieving and drag are highly satisfying. This is just about a bit over 30 centimeter, and the main line is braided 0.8 gal with 12 Bullabur fluorocarbon leader. He was hooked at very shallow area, so I had to pull him up first at the beginning, which was succeeded very easy. This is the hit scene of Little Queenfish. She hit the lure very attractive at the shallow area again, could be about 20 to 30 centimetre deep. You know queenfish is such really fast swimming species and good fighter even though she's such small. And with Arity, pretty easy to manage. Easy to make action, easy to fight. I know you know that I love this reel now. Conclusions, Daiwa 23 Arity is super light, super smooth spinning reel. This Arity is highly recommended spinning reel to me, as I could not see such big difference in between this and Exist. Of course, not the same, Exist is extra smooth and feels greater, but for use, I would say there's not much different. Air drive design surely works really well. The reel is strong yet powerful, very easy to use as well. This is the topic I must reach versus 23 Vanquish. Actually, I did not really feel difference at the first time. Lightness and smoothness of reeling were quite similar. However, after a couple of times using both, 23 Vanquish is now slightly lighter, to be honest. Of course, Infinity Loop is one of the big decision maker for you, but for usage, 23 Vanquish is a little lighter and smoother, I would say. To me, Vanquish is really peaky and more specialised for light game. Weight is similar, feeling is a bit lighter, but rotor is slightly weaker than air drive rotor to me. Airity is slightly more light versatile, which has good enough sensitivity and light feeling, but rotor is stronger and metal monocoque body is very rigid and powerful. You can actually cover a lot of different types of fishing by 23 Airity and 19 or 24 Certate, really.